The value of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies has fallen off a cliff.
Canadians lost almost $380 million to various types of fraud in 2021. And the number one scam was investing in cryptocurrency.
An Ontario man just lost his entire savings.
Bitcoin has plunged about 70% in value from its all-time high.
So that is my plan, to enable Canada to become the blockchain and crypto capital of the world. What this is, yes, you can applaud that if you like.
So that was 2022. And of course, they ran that quite a bit in the Canadian political circles because they made fun of him because he was talking about Bitcoin when he was supposed to, which is when we had a massive crash. And 2022 was not a great year for Bitcoin. It went from 67,000 roughly down to 16,700. And he was talking about back then. And of course, once that happens, everybody piles on. And we can see that with this, with Justin Trudeau, as he's come in, this is what happened. Trudeau, known for his anti-Bitcoin stance alongside his other poor economic policies, said in early 2023, remember, Pierre said this in 2022, he picked it up in 2023, and I'm sure he said it before that his political opponent and leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, Pierre, who said it? Poilievre, was not fit for leadership because he correctly told Canadian citizens to opt out of inflation by holding Bitcoin. And just to get the context here, I want you to listen to this because this is what was going on in 2022 and for the most part 2023 as well. And then 2024, everybody kind of changes their tune as things start to break out massively. And then, of course, people really change their tune when Bitcoin hits 100K. What do you think they're going to do when it gets to 200, 300K? Anyhow, just listen to this. This would be Justin Trudeau dropping bombs.
So beyond having a plan to make people mad and amplify and reflect back that anger, we haven't really seen a lot of concrete proposals from Mr. Poilievre. I mean, he did make one. That's not fair. You're right. He had one great opportunity for people to opt out of inflation. He recommended this last spring. You can opt out of inflation if you invest your money in Bitcoin. Yeah. No. He stayed up late, watched all sorts of YouTube videos, and came to that conclusion. He said that himself. Buy Bitcoin, opt out of inflation. Well, any Canadian who actually listened to, maybe that's why those guys with the flags are so mad at me. Any Canadian who listened to him would have lost more than half their life savings since last March.
Oh, boo-hoo. So that's a funny thing. It's a funny thing about investments is that you lose when you sell. And Justin Trudeau is absolutely correct, 100% correct. I mean, if you would have bought beforehand and then watched it go all the way down and sold, you would have lost. That would have been a problem. However, my question was twofold. First of all, what would the Canadian citizen, how much would they have accumulated and actually had an ROI or the return on investment if they had done it when Pierre was talking about in 2022? That's the first thing. And the second thing, the question, I guess, that nags me is, how big of a Bitcoin proponent is he? Well, in 2023, he visited a Canadian accepting Bitcoin as payment and paid for Bitcoin or paid for food in Bitcoin. So he goes around, he knows how to use it, and he's talked about it in 2022. And now I think that there's been other roundtable discussions that he's been on where he talks about how he wants to push Canada into using Bitcoin, crypto, and digital assets. And I like all those things. This is fantastic. So my first question I think is answered, which I think this guy's very pro Bitcoin. That's great. So we got what? President Donald Trump coming in the 20th of this month, and he's pretty pro Bitcoin. And his sons, which surround him, they're even more pro Bitcoin.